Hi guys, thanks for coming to my YouTube channel. Today I have another interview with the lovely Mercades from Love Island USA 2. You might see her, she's familiar from Casa Amor. And today we're going to get into questions about the villa. We're going to get a chance to know her a little bit better. And of course, we're going to have some games because what's my channel without a little game at the end of an interview? You know what I mean? So thank you for coming on with me and even taking this conversation in this interview period. I'm excited. And I'm to the questions. So you ready?
Yes, I'm excited. Thank you for having me. So yeah, let's get this started.
All right. So first thing I'd like to ask is, how would you describe your time in the villa?
I would describe it fast.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be on your game. You have to like pull all your bag and tricks because realistically, Casa Amor is 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you really have to like hustle in the 2 days. So you're thrown in and you're like, okay, you got to, and you have 5 girls there too. So you have to not work against them, but obviously get in your conversations and with who you want to, and they do as well.
Right.
So I would say it's just very fast. You have to be on your game and you have to know what you're going for and just go for it.
Right. Now, would you say you think you had a fair chance of love in the villa with the time that you were given and even the experience?
I would say no, because walking in, I felt like the guys were so cold. They were on a bro trip, and so I felt like even the girls felt the same way too. Like we were just like doing everything we can, like we were told to just like hype them up, like get them going, like you know what I mean. And I felt like it was just really hard and unrealistic with them being so closed off in 4 days to really change someone's mind or even get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard. It was really, really hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. Now, are there any guys from the villa that you didn't get a chance to meet that you're excited to meet or you want to get to know? So it could be before, like from the very beginning, that just never made it to the time of Casa Amor, or people that came in after, if you're familiar with the show. Is there anybody who would like caught your eye?
I feel like the Casa boys, like I feel like their vibe was just genuine and they were open.
Yeah.
So if you would have took the Casa girls and the Casa boys, I think it would have been a good time and they would have been open and caring and just a good time overall.
Yeah, because it did seem that like in the villa, it was the energy was just different. It was more like a friendly vibe. It was friendlier instead of things being so like high energy. It was just a relaxed fun, which left that opportunity for people to get to a chance to know each other better.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Instead of like, if you're explaining like the colder energy, them, they seem very much open and like friends. And
yeah, like just having like
starts with friendships.
Yes, like a genuine conversation. I felt like they were just so like, okay, who are you? Where are you from? And then Costa to us was like, hype, 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 party, 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 like, go do this, go crazy. And like, even for me, I felt like it was a lot. Like, I was like, whoa, like, I need a second, you know, because it was like a lot to take in, honestly. And I even went around to the boys and I was like, hey, boys, like, I know I came in very hot. That's not me. Like, if you want to get to know me further, you can. But yeah, that was just, it was a lot for me.
Right. And now with that, like, you definitely were a person who stood out in Casa More, like, and very memorable. And with that, like, we saw that there was a love interest chance, like a chance for you to get back in the villa 2 ways. So we were thinking potentially it could have been Johnny or it could have been Carrington. So with Johnny's situation, we kind of saw that towards the end, he was vocalizing like, okay, I'm gonna go back to Cely. But with Carrington, it was in the air, and we really did not know who he was gonna come back with. So we see that he did go back with Laurel. So why do you think that it ended up being, oh, what's up?
Okay, go ahead.
Why do you think it ended up being him taking back Laurel instead of you, of your thinking process of how everything was?
Yes, let me let the dogs out so it doesn't mess. Yeah, hold on. Go.
And we're back.
Yes. So yeah, it was definitely up in the air for me. Obviously, Johnny came on strong. So I was like, okay, you know, there might be something here. And then when I definitely seen there wasn't, and I was just like, okay, I see right through this guy. It's just all fun and games for him.
Mhm.
I know myself, and I'm not going to be fun and games for a guy. So I drew the line. We both like agreed on that. So then I turned to Carrington, and yeah, I went all in. The conversations that we had were amazing, great. I was still like, well, I don't know, because Laurel and him were sharing a bed. So I was like,
Mhm.
they seemed like, it was just kind of a shock for me too that he took me on the date, because I was like, I don't know, like what? Like
Right.
I'm a little thrown, like, because they were, you know, around Casa, like holding hands and being touchy. So I just assumed like he was picking Laurel from the start. But then we started having conversations, and then he came on to me, and I was like, okay, I kind of like it. Like, so
Right.
I'm going to explore that. And then our conversations, we got into deeper connections and just talked about everything from family, jobs, what are we wanting in the future. And everything sounded great. We went on the date, and it seemed pretty fine. But then we came back, and obviously he told me too, like, it's very hard for me on the decision. So I didn't put any pressure. I was like, okay, you do you. Whatever you decide is whatever you decide. But also the conversation with Laurel and I felt like I came off like so bitchy, but that's just not who I am at all.
Okay.
Yeah, like when we were having
Yeah,
the
they come off a
conversation,
little, yeah.
yeah, no, girl, that's not me.
Okay.
So what they didn't show is after, you know, I was like, yeah, like this is what happened. Do you want any other verification or
Right.
comfort from like what Carrington is telling me? Like, how do you feel? I was just trying to get on the same page with her. So, you
Mhm.
know, there wasn't a story being told over here and a story being told over here, like
Right.
trying to figure it out. And then I even told her after, like, I don't care what happens. I still want to be your friend. Like, I was very supportive, and I gave her a big old hug, and obviously that wasn't shown. But yeah, I was very on the edge on who Carrington was going to pick as well. But towards the end, I like was okay. You know, if he picked Laurel, when he picked her at Casa, it wasn't shown, but I clapped for her, and I was so happy. And I'm still outside rooting for them, and that's my Casa girl. You know, like I'm not gonna let a guy get in between that, because what I could say walking out, I didn't get picked, which I'm fine,
Mhm.
but I got some really good girlfriends, and I'm definitely not gonna let guys take that from me. So
So you left with something. Like, and
yes,
friendships
yes.
are very important, just as valuable as relationships. Shoot, sometimes even more, because they're there when things go left. It's time to fall back. You need somebody to fall on, and they're there.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, do you think that like the men in the villa, because there's conversation of people playing it safe, but do you think the men are playing strategy, or are they actually building real connections, or even attempting to?
I think it might be 50-50, because
Mhm.
I think they're playing it safe, and I think they're also strategizing. Just being at Casa, I could tell Johnny kind of runs things. And I said too, like maybe that had a big impact on Carrington's decision, because Carrington did come to me and he was like, I wasn't gonna come on to you because how close Johnny and I are. But then he was like, okay, screw it, whatever. I'm just gonna go for it. And I told Carrington too, I was like, why did this happen sooner? Like, what was I doing? Like, he kind of woke me up, you know? But that's all I could say is like, I don't know why it didn't happen sooner. But yeah, I feel like Johnny kind of is like the ringleader in all this. So
Mhm.
maybe, I say it's 50-50. Like, it could be, but it's also like, I don't know, you know?
Right. And I'm aware that like you originally were more interested in Connor and other people in the villa, not Johnny. So how did the situation with you and Johnny come about? Because originally in the show, when they're going and showing the different girls, the person who said Johnny was Cher. So like in everyone else's mind, we're all like, okay, so Cher's gonna gun for this. But then like majority of the interactions that we saw anybody with Johnny was with you. So how did that even happen?
Girl, I'm like, how? I'm asking myself the same thing. But okay, so I don't think people take in consideration how long we're quarantined before we even get into the villa. So I was quarantined from July to September. And in the middle of that, in August, they took our phones. So we didn't have like any access to the outside world. So
Mhm.
I had Netflix and Disney Plus. Okay. So when I was watching, because we got to watch episodes before we go in. So I was already nervous because the guys, for one, are younger and I'm 25. So
Mm.
that scared me, because I'm like, I've dated 25-year-olds and it was even hard at that age, you
Mm.
know? So going in, I had this thing that I said I wanted to like go on the C train, and it was the boys with the C names. So yes, Connor is my type, and going in, I was like, I don't know, because him and Mackenzie like have something, and it was really hard even having a conversation with him when I got into Casa. So I was kind of just like, eh. But when I walked in, I don't even know how it happened. Like Johnny and I just kind of like got drawn to each other. But prior to going in, I had this whole thing where I said I wanted to be Cely's friend, where I wanted to be Johnny's friend because they were so cute. And Cely kind of reminds me of myself because she's out there. She has a loud personality. She's funny. She's crazy. Like, that's literally me. I'm like, girl, we could get along. But when I walked in to Casa, my whole plans just kind of flew out the window. Right. And even I was surprised because I'm like, Johnny's not like the typical dude that I would go for, but his personality is great. I will say that, like, he has a great personality. Like, he does like take charge, and he's like out there, and that's kind of like what I do. So I was like, oh my god, like, okay, whatever. And he came on so strong that I was like, okay, maybe there is a possibility. So that's why I pursued him as well. Right. And then when I found it, you know, going nowhere, and it was just a fun time for him to mess around away from Cely, I was like, no. Right. And when I like laid that line down, I even tried to support him as well. Like, I was giving him a pep talk to go back to Cely. I was like, you guys' foundation is strong. Like, I gave you clarity. It's fine. Like, I just accepted it. And I gave him a big old pep talk to go back to her. Even when he was giving his speech, when he told me like he decided to go back to Cely, and I gave him so much clarity, I was like, yes, okay, love you guys. Like, I wish you guys the best. Right. And I told him, I was like, don't worry. I gave him a hug. I was like, don't worry, she's going to be there for you. Because he was kind of worried, like, if she wasn't going to be there. But I gave him that comfort, and that wasn't shown. So it's like, yeah, I feel like I pursued it because I thought that it could have been a connection. And that's what we're there for. That's what Casa Amor is there for. Like, you have to find a connection as soon as you can. And when Johnny came on to me so strong, I was like, oh, well, maybe. Let me just explore this, you know? So I came on strong too because your girl was quarantined for so long. I was like, he's looking good.
Somebody, cause anybody, but yeah, like that type of react. Yeah. All right, a big conversation that ended up taking itself past Casa Amor, past like later into like episodes 23, 24-ish, and it's still kind of conversation in the villa now. Is clarity on what happened under the sheets. Like, Johnny literally, like, he's like, I'm telling the truth. Then you got, like, you had Noah come in and was like, I think I saw what I saw. And one thing I said in one of my recap videos was that no one can answer this question. The issue with not coming out and being forthright in terms of Johnny with Cely, whether she likes information or not, the issue with not being forthright immediately is that it leaves room for other people to speak on your behalf. And I said the only two people who can truly speak on that is Johnny himself, which he kind of opted out of when he left that information. That opportunity was taken. So it was what it was. And the only other person who can speak on that, for me, I would ask to speak on that, would be you. Since you were a person who's there, can actually speak for yourself, since you were the person who was there. So, and as comfortable a way that you feel, what happened under the sheets? Was it just the kiss like he said?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't just the kiss. As you guys seen, it was Johnny pulling the covers over. So let's just be clear on that. It was consensual, first and foremost. But yeah, it definitely, yes, we kissed, but I mean, we did get a little touchy as well. I won't go into details, but I still think Cely needs to know, because I feel when I was watching and I seen Johnny like getting flustered and people were like, what happened at Casa? Like, yeah, we didn't sleep together, but I mean, he also did things to the point where like, if Cely was me, I would be like, why didn't you tell me? Or I need to know, like, if she's trying to build a foundation with Johnny outside of the villa, I think it's something that needs to be talked about. I mean, yes, relationships have bumps and there's issues, but for someone just to be like, oh, Casa, like, we just kissed, and kind of like go right over it, and then just want to build a solid foundation in a relationship, I don't think that's going to happen, because Johnny is going to be, oh, I did more in the back of his head. And Cely deserves to know. You know, even after this, I want to be Cely's friend. That was my whole plan in the beginning. I have nothing against Cely. I'm team Cely. She deserves, you know, the best.
Right.
Yes. You know, and I do want, if she wants to have a conversation about things, on how things went down, just to give her my side of the story too. But yeah, there was definitely more that went on under the covers than just a kiss.
Right. Now, are there any scenes overall in the villa that they didn't show that you wish they did?
Yeah, a lot. I wish they showed, yeah, I wish they just showed who I was, because I felt like I was the one motivating the girls. I would help them get dressed. I was singing to them. I was like, don't worry about it, whatever happens. There was even a time that I pulled all the girls together before the guys made their decisions. And I said, I don't care what happens. I just want to take this time to really say thank you guys for making my experience so wonderful, because I mean, the girls, we bonded so quickly. I know Laurel, you know, got a little distant towards the end with Carrington and I, but I still comfort her. I was giving her hugs. I dressed her for the day. Like, I helped her in a lot of ways. And I feel like that wasn't shown. And like, you know, it wasn't shown that I gave Johnny that pep talk and I was happy for everything the way it happened.
Right.
It wasn't just, I was going crazy, throwing myself at guys. Like, no, that wasn't the case at all. I also went around and said, hey, this isn't me. You know, you want to get to know me, like, ask me anything. Like, this behavior, like, a girl was cooped up. Like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, you know, but yeah, I feel like I'm like, oh my God, I'm even embarrassed too. Like, I don't even know. But yeah, like, I just wish that my personality was shown, because I felt like out of most of the girls, like, I was even asking them, like, are you okay? Like, you know, because it was really hard. Like, it's really hard to go in there and to do this in 4 days, and then just to kind of get used to how things work on production side, like filming, holding, like, it was just a lot to take in. And I felt like I was like the support system in a way, you know, but also like trying to cheer the girls up and saying, let's get through this, you know, like, you guys are my girls. And that wasn't shown. So I wish it was, because that's who I really am. I'm not a thirsty girl and a bitchy girl towards girls. Like, if anything, I'm the complete opposite.
Okay. And then, are there any regrets you have with your experience in the villa?
I feel I don't have regrets. Maybe one would be if going in there, I would have like one person that I really wanted to get to know too. Like, just because I went in and things obviously spiraled so quickly, and I feel like if I went in with like a strategy plan of like who I wanted to get to know, instead of just like, okay, whatever, like, I want to get to know everyone.
Right.
But I mean, it just didn't happen like that. But regrets, not really, because like I said, I walked out with some really good friends, and I'm so thankful for that. Like, these girls are amazing.
And do you feel, which you kind of got into a little bit, but overall, do you feel like you were misunderstood in your time at Love Island by fans, by the viewers, all that stuff like that?
Oh, 100%. I feel like I walked out and everyone hated me and thought I was coming for Cely. Like, if anything, I want everyone to know, like, I wanted to be her friend. Like, I was very supportive when Johnny and I like drew that line. Like, I gave him a big old pep talk to go back to her. Like, I still want to be her friend, you know, like, it's just a lot. Like, I don't think that people realize it's a reality TV show, and, you know, they definitely show some things, and my personality was a little out there, and you know, it wasn't in the best light. But yeah, I feel like I was misunderstood, and the person that I am wasn't shown. I mean, that's sad, you know. Maybe it could have been differently, but it wasn't, which kind of sucks. But I mean, I'm here to show you guys who I really am.
And with that being said, now the opportunity for you to be understood. So we're gonna get into your fun stuff. We're gonna get into your who you are and into our game, which will show that more. But I also do want to take the time too to have a conversation that I drew on my recaps, where I was like, our generation, I feel in a way, and I think it was showing through a reflection of the villa in both sides. For some reason, I felt like in Casa Amor, it felt like, even though like you have guys and girls, but it still felt like the girls were playing cat and mouse, but the girls were the cat. the guys are the mouse. And then in the villa, it felt the same. Like the guys who are supposed to come into the villa, they're supposed to be the cats. You want to get a spot in that house, obviously. But it still to some degree felt, I'm not sure if you watched the show and seen it, but it still to some degree felt like the girls are still going after the guys. And it's like, how are the girls going after the guys when they're the ones that need a spot in the villa? And I feel like overall that shows kind of like a reflection of where we are at society today, where it feels like for some reason, like guys are starting to fall back more, and it's like left for the girls to pursue the guys to some degree, or leave that opening for the ladies to lead, when normally like cat chase the mouse, the guy is supposed to hunt. So what do you think about that? And just talking in general, you could be specific in terms of the villa, but also this is just an open general conversation of where we are today.
Yeah, who I am is like, I'm usually the pursuer, and I like to say it's a girl's world. Don't leave it up to the guy, because, oh girl, we'd be lost. Okay, so I'm like, I like
Are you
going
a fire sign?
I'm a Pisces.
Okay, I'm an Aries.
Okay.
I was like, because I was like, that sounds real Aries-ish, but then I was like, I don't know. Continue.
But yeah, so I usually tell my girlfriends, I'm like, don't leave it up to the guy. Like, go to the guy. The ball's in your court. Like, you know, make them uncomfortable. Like, because I'm tired of, like, the guys always coming to the girls, making us uncomfortable, whether it's, like, catcalling or just, like, in our space. And, like, sometimes the guys just don't get the hint. Like, bro, I'm not into you. Like, move on. You know, so it's, like, if it's in our court, and that's where your confidence comes out, too. Like, I'm so confident, and I'm just like, okay, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it, obviously. But I don't know. I feel like in the casa house, like, it was just hard. It was so hard to get through these guys. I was like, oh my God, like, you're not on a freaking bro trip. Like, this is your chance to get to know us and to see and to find a connection. And that's when the whole Johnny situation, I was like, okay, this guy is just here for fun. I went and tried to find a connection, because that was the whole point of me going in. I wanted to see if I could find a connection, and make it to the villa. Isn't that what everyone's trying to do? It's called Love Island, and going into the villa. Like, I'm not over here, you know, trying to, people are like, oh, like, is it just all about the money? Like, no, it was genuinely for me about a connection and going to the villa. That everyone wants to go to the villa. That's the main thing. That's not a bad thing.
Right. And then, would you say, like, being with the mindset of like, yo, I want you, or I like you and I want you, like that type of situation, would you say, are you the girl who gets the guys? Like, do you don't situation, like, you're like, I want him, I get him?
Well, for me, I'm very flirtatious, and for me, I'm like, okay, let me go flirt, let me have fun, and then I like back off, and then I'll let the guy do the work. Okay. But yeah, I'm like, I give him a little like, okay, hey, I like you, I'm here. I'll flirt a little, and then I'm like, okay, like, it's time for you to reel in and do the work. So I'm not like all like, okay, I'm gonna go for him, I want him, get him. It's not the guy too, but like, not sexually, don't take it there. It's just like, you kind of want to flirt and be like, hey, like, you know, you want to have fun with it too. Like, I don't like to take anything too serious. So it's like, you know, have fun, flirt a little, and then let the guy do the work. Like, if they really want you, you know, they're gonna come in too.
Right. Because I will also say that with that, I remember in the show, even when you were like talking with Carrington and you were on the bed, you did stop in the middle of the conversation and you were like, but I'm not sleeping around. And you said that. I remember that. And then like you continue to flirt and be back with the banter, but I remember you stopped the conversation and had said that, but then continued the banter. So,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I love to flirt, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to like sleeping around, I don't do that. Like, I've had 3 solid relationships and they've been super long. Each one like 3.5, 2, and then like 1. So that's it. Like, I haven't really dated around. I just don't like the idea of sleeping around and giving that piece of me to people. And yeah, I just don't like that idea. So I'm not sleeping around with anyone. 100%. Like, I am like, nope. Yeah. That's it. Like, this is mine. Like, you know what I mean? So like flirting, it's like, you know, I just do it because it's fun. Like, everyone wants to be, you know, we want to flirt. We want some attention. Come on. Like, that, we're human. But it's like, I'm not going to just sleep with you. Like, don't get the wrong idea of this. So, yeah.
And then with that, my next question would then be, into you. How would you describe yourself? Like, who is Mercedes?
I am fun. I'm very motivating. I love to hype people up and I support women to a T. I'm like, yes, girl, like hype it up. Because I feel like girls, we go through enough with society images that we have to follow. We get trapped in the whole Instagram and like, just I feel like most girls like look down on themselves and I'm like, why, girl? Like, you're so special. So I feel like for me, I'm just so motivating and I try to put out a lot of positivity and good energy. That's what I'm about. I like living in the moment. And I'm like, girl, have the confidence you could do anything. I tell everyone that. I'm like, find yourself, love yourself. And I'm just so big on like self-love as well, because that's huge. Like if we don't love ourselves, how are we expecting to love anyone else, There's just so many quotes that I look up to, but I definitely have a big personality. I'm not shy. If you tell me to do something, I'll probably go do it. But yeah, I'm just out there and I live in the moment. I think that's the best thing to do because life is fragile, so it's like, why set limits on yourself and second think yourself? And yeah, so I'm just here to hype my girls up.
And who would you say is the most important person to you?
I would say my mom. I come from a single mom and I kid you not, she has done the best that she is the best ever. Like she's my idol. I want to be just like her. She has her ducks in a row, but she's also so strong, and that's what she taught me. No matter what we go through, get back up and try again. And that's kind of what I'm using in this whole experience, coming out. I wasn't the most liked for sure, but my mom taught me get back up and try again, because that's what life's about, is no matter how many times you get knocked down, it's about standing up and giving that, extra try. But I love her. She's amazing. She's so supportive to me as well. But yeah, she'd definitely be my number one.
Shout out to Mama Mercedes.
Yes.
Who's the most, or not who, what is the most important thing to you?
Family. I would say 100% family. My brother, he's also really important to me. And just spending, that quality time with your family. Friends are nice, friends are great, but who's going to be there at the end of the day? It's going to be your family. So I'm so big on family. I'm such like a homebody too. Like prior to moving, because I'm in New Mexico, but prior to moving to Los Angeles, I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. Like, I just want to go like everywhere with my family. So we like get our nails done. We like go shopping. We do everything together. Like it's insane. But I love it. It's like my favorite time ever.
Oh, and now being the girl who gets the guys, we're gonna have a moment where we're gonna come clean. Me as well. What's your most embarrassing story involving a crush?
Oh my God.
If you share yours, I'll share mine. But I don't know, girl. You're gonna laugh at me for real. I can't down.
You're gonna laugh at me because, okay, let me just start off. Okay, so I had this crush and his family's such a big thing to me. So I'm like, oh yeah, his family was like doing a barbecue and he's like, yeah, come over. I was like, okay, sure. So all day we're like at the barbecue having fun and I'm just like, just like sitting around, like talking to the family. And then they're like, yeah, like let's play. The sun started to go down. So they were like, let's play, what was it, hide and seek or something? And I was just like, okay, yeah, let's go. But they had a volleyball net in their backyard. And so, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed just talking about it. So I'm like someone's chasing me and I'm like running full speed. And I kid you not, the volleyball, like the string that holds it up, right?
Yeah.
I'm like running full speed, looking back, and like I hit this line. I like flew back. I like did a little flip in the air and like landed straight. I think I got the breath knocked out of me. And everyone, like the family was like sitting on the porch, like, oh my God. And everyone like is like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like sitting, like laying on the floor and I'm like, I can't breathe, can't move. And I'm like trying to be cool because I like this guy. And he just comes up to me. He's like laughing. He's like trying to see if I'm okay. I'm like, do I laugh? Do I cry? Like, what do I do? And it was so embarrassing because I kid you not, I hit that net and I like ricocheted in the air, flew back. And like till this day, he'll still, like when we talk, he'll be like, oh, do you remember this day? And I'm like, don't remind me. Like, what do you mean?
Yes, I do remember that.
Embarrassing, but I was just like, okay, I think I gotta go home now.
Oh, the wind knocked out of you too. You're there like,
I'm like, Mom, tell me you need me home right now. Like, tell me you, like, text me something or call me. I was so embarrassed, and everybody was just like laughing after, and I was just like, okay, do I cry? Do I laugh? Like, do I laugh, cry? Like, what is this? What do I do? But it was so embarrassing. But again, I'm so clumsy. I'm like the girl that like trips over things, falls. Like, it's embarrassing.
yeah.
But let's get to your story.
This happened in 4th grade. I'll never forget. Well, no, it was that bad. I remember I liked this guy. I think her name was, my teacher was Miss Ferrara. I think it was her English class or something. It was lit class, and he wasn't even in my class. It was like transitioning where you, like, he's coming into the class and I'm coming out. But do you know those desks that, like, you're, instead of a desk, I think there is a space for you to put your stuff underneath the actual desk.
Yes.
One, and then you have those, but they also have the part that's attached. They have a second compartment that you can put underneath the chair.
Maybe. I don't think I ever had one of those.
Because there's like the little kid desk that you have that, and then you tend to see them in high school.
Yes. Okay.
But this one, I believe, had both. And he was coming into the classroom. I still remember how. I remember he was coming down this way and walked into the classroom past the bookshelf, and like he's coming in. I'm about to leave, but I was super excited to see him. So like, I don't know how it happened, but like I jumped up out of the seat to try and quickly get to where he was so he'll see me before he went to sit down so I could like cross the path. And I jumped up and my feet were still, like, I leaned this way, but my feet were still in the place of where they were when I was sitting. So I lifted myself up and fell, but there was no, and also like, I don't know where my hands were at the time. So I bust my head on the side of the desk that was next to the desk. Like, my desk is here, there's a desk here, and I leaped up and bust my head on the desk.
Oh!
Like on the ground. And then I just like laid there, and then all I hear, keep in mind, he's in 4th grade. He's like, he steps over me. He's like, damn. And I was just like, I was like, so do I pretend to pass out now? Because I was like, there's no laughing my way through this. I'm already embarrassed. I can't even cry right now. So the question is,
just like,
lay here, or do I just pretend to faint and see if they could get somebody to come carry me out? And
then he'll feel bad for you. He's like, dang, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think he really felt that bad. I just know he was just like, damn. But it was such a heartfelt damn. I was like, it was that bad, wasn't it? And then I remember I just got up and just walked out of the classroom, and he probably doesn't remember. I hope he doesn't.
Well, at least he doesn't remember, because
I'll never forget that though, because I bust my head and like fell out. Like, it was like bang the head, then I turned over and just dropped on the floor because I've never hit my head so hard.
Jeez, girl, did you have like a gash or anything in your head?
Surprisingly, no.
Well, thank gosh for that. Because I'm like,
that was a
there
good.
could have been. I remember saying, let's just not.
Yeah, that it could have been really bad, but the only thing I had was just embarrassment. So I just laid there as he stood over me. It was just like, damn. And then the other girl that I know that he definitely did like she walks over, and I'm just like, this shit is just not.
You're like, can I go home?
Yeah, I'm like, so you're obviously, you see this, and now the girl that I know you want to be your girl is walking over. Like, can you move? Tell her, can she move? Because I'm on the ground trying to figure out whether I should pretend to move or not, you know?
That's how I was. I was like, do I laugh? Do I cry? Like, do I pretend like I passed out? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
So then I just got up and just dust my shirt off and went as if I didn't just bang my head and lose the respect of the guy I cared about at that time.
Oh,
I was like 11 years old, but to this day, it's been over 10 years, and I still remember it to this day.
I mean, so do I. I was so embarrassed when I was laying there on the floor. I was just like, do I get up? Do I cry? Like, do I yell out, Mom? Like, what? Like, what do I do?
Nah, I don't know. In that situation, I feel like I do something. Like, I just get up and start laughing. and just
Well, I got up and I was just like, I'm fine, I'm okay. And then I was like, I think I gotta go home now.
like, oh, did you see that? As if I'll laugh like it wasn't me.
And then I don't think I talked to the guy after that for like 2 weeks. And then he was just like, "Are you okay? Like, did I do something wrong?" I was just like, I'm okay. I was so embarrassed.
Saw too much. That's what the problem is. You saw too much. I don't know if I can continue this.
Never again.
Right. Now, what are 3 things about yourself that you think viewers or fans like we wouldn't guess about you?
3 things. I used to be a really big country girl.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I used to have horses, like full on like sheeps, goats. Another thing would, oh gosh, this is hard.
That was good. I did not see that coming.
Really?
No.
I actually fell off. Well, another thing would be is I fell off of a horse. My foot got stuck in a stirrup and I like got dragged. It was intense. So
That sounds intense.
yeah, you wouldn't guess that.
No. You don't look like you've been dragged.
Yeah, no, I like have, well, you probably can't see it anymore, but yeah, I like busted my head open and it was like really traumatic. It was crazy, like full on like foot stuck in the stirrup because my friend and I, we were riding doubles. That's 2 people on a horse, and the horse that we were riding doubles with, she's not very like comfortable with that, but that we only had like 3 horses to go with our friends, so we're like, oh, we'll just do it. And so I was riding in the saddle and she got spooked and of course threw us off and my foot got stuck in the stirrup. And it was just full on getting dragged for, I don't even remember, but I can remember this. So like literally how it happened and everything. And I was trying so hard to like reach up and like unhook my foot and I just couldn't unhook it. So I was still getting dragged and then I finally like unhook it and then like my hip, I hit the ground first on my hip. And yeah, and then my head kind of like ricocheted and hit the rocks. It was intense, but you probably couldn't tell that just looking at me.
No, I would not guess that happened.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. Like I was like, I still am like thinking back, I'm like, thank you God, had my back that day because I don't know how I like came out like not without like a brain injury or like a hip injury or something. But yeah, and then another one would be, dang, another one that you wouldn't think about me. I'm like an old soul. Like I love 80s music. I love my baths and like a glass of wine. I like staying in.
What type of 80s music do you like?
I like everything from like Cher, Whitney Houston, Dolly Parton. Oh my gosh, so many. I have like an 80s album over here, like playlist. And I'm just like, okay. But Whitney is my favorite. I love her.
I'm going to send you a link, and I want you to watch this performance of Teddy Pendergrass, Love TKO. That man will sing the draws off of a generation.
That's it. I love it. I love
everything. Like, literally, I was shook. I was like, what? I mean, I've already like grew up listening to his stuff, but now like as I'm older, I'm just sitting here listening like, wait, what? This don't even make sense. I want to say this is God sent, but also I want to say this is Satan because the way them draws might just fly off. And I'm like, dang, where my hands go? Like as soon as you just hear them, you're like,
oh. No, I love it. I love all that like oldies, like 80s. Oh my gosh, because like I listen to some music today, but I just find myself always going back to my 80s playlist, like Cyndi Lauper, like you know, like the old stuff. But yeah, I don't think you would tell that from me. It's like
no, I wouldn't. That's but check Love TKO. I'm gonna send it to you. Seriously.
Send it to me.
Whoa. Last night I was literally listening to it and I was just like, I think it's on my story. I was just listening to it. I was like, Dad, this man.
Oh, you know what? I did see it. Okay.
That man, he is a bad man. Like T-Pain, or was it T-Pain or Andre 3000? You ever heard like T-Pain's song? He's like Teddy Pender ass down. Like that is why. Like, that's where Teddy Pendergrass came from. That's Teddy Pender ass down. That is.
Okay, I'm gonna need to listen to this.
When you hear the voice, you're gonna be like, yo, and then you see him and how he just sings it so effortlessly. It's like, how do you have this much appeal? But I guess they left that in the 80s because it does not compare. I have not seen any person to this day, even Mr. Steal Your Girl, he will steal your wife. He will.
He's not playing. He is coming for something, and he is leaving with
Yes,
it.
he will leave.
Okay.
Like, he will leave with your grandma, and you're just like, Grandma, how am I supposed to get home? And
For Graham.
away. He will leave with both and just walk off. I think he's capable of that. I don't know if people can do that right
I love it. I love like just like singing. Oh my god, like Phantom of the Opera too, like all their music and that stuff. Like I'm big on like the Grease, like all the musical songs and like Disney. Like oh my god, I love all that stuff. Crazy for it.
I think you'll like it. And now I want to go into two, like before even Love Island, you were able to have a following and on Instagram as well as a following on TikTok. So can you give us 4 tips that can apply to either or both for people out there to help grow their Instagram or build their engagement up? Because also the algorithm is a very big thing nowadays that might be like limiting people's reaches and stuff like that. So what advice would you give?
So first and foremost, be yourself, be authentic, use hashtags, and find something that you're interested in. So if you're interested in something like, for example, like fashion or fitness, and that is like you just hold dear to you and you like love it. Like that's what I found for me, like fashion and fitness. Like I love working out. I love dressing people like myself or my mom or my friends. Like I'm really good at like, I have an eye for things. So I took something that I really love and just threw it on my content and just ran with it, honestly. And be confident in yourself. Like don't second think yourself. Just post, get your story out there. But yeah, and just have fun with it. I think a lot of us tend to lose that side, and it's just like, oh, I need to do this, like take it more seriously than having fun, because if it comes off fun, people are gonna, like, your viewers are gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's having fun, like I actually enjoy viewing her. But if you're like finding it more of a job, then it's not gonna be as fun, you know?
Right.
So yeah, just be authentic too. Like be who you are. Don't try to be anyone else, because that's not fun. You don't want to like hide who you are, because you're super unique and you are you. So you want to showcase that.
Right. Now, which guy from season 1, because we got to bring in season 1 since I'm from season 1.
Oh, girl.
Which guy from season 1 would you have coupled up with?
I really like Weston. He is like the cowboy dream.
And you just said you're into yeah,
like, see, that's something people wouldn't get, because like I want to go to Stagecoach, never been. Oh my god, I want to go. But yeah, growing up, just having a horse, like being on a farm, like having that background. When he walked in with a cowboy hat, I was like, oh my god, my cowboy.
Oh wow, yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
And he has a big personality as well, and you have a big personality. He's very he's charismatic. Like he'll be there with the jokes, with the laughs, with the good times, good energy. So I could see that. You know, after now knowing the cowgirl background story, I'm like, okay, I could see that.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I don't know, I kind of liked Eric too. Eric was cool. Like I don't know, girl, I'm trying to find my type. Like I said, like I've been in relationships, so coming out, I'm like, this is weird. This is weird. I'm not used to it. I'm like such a relationship type of girl. I'm like such a great girlfriend. Got it. That's on lock. You know what I mean? But dating and like talking to people, I'm like, I'm weird. Like I don't know how to like I like to flirt, but I'm also like, I won't be the one to DM you, you know?
Right.
I'm shy sometimes. But yeah.
And then with that, and I think cowboy. I'm trying to think, is there anybody else who's a cowboy or has that like country vibe?
I didn't even see any. I don't think anyone that has came out on season 2. I don't think they've been such like cowboyish, right? Or season 1 too.
Season 1, it was cowboy. We had Weston. The most cowboy or countryest would be Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. I forgot about Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Why did it gonna be Jeremiah? I've heard such great things about him. I'm like, what the heck? I would have had some good talks with him. We could have had so many like connections, but
right. And I think I asked you this question already. Like, oh yes, you said the guys from Casa Amor. I was gonna say, yeah, but that was another country guy. Who else is? I don't think there was anybody else who was like real country or like horse riding and things like that. No. Because I'm an East Coast girl, so I'm just like, what do I think?
Yeah. You wouldn't like guess that for me, but I'm from like New Mexico, like straight up desert. Like I grew up riding horses, like riding quads, like full on like like getting muddy, like yeah, like that's not my background. So when I moved to LA, I was like, city girl. I'm like, how do I adjust to this? Because every time I brought up country music, people like they don't hate it, but they just were like, why are you bringing that up? Like no one likes country here.
They're like, what's his name? What is his name? I'm trying to. Who sings White Iverson?
Oh my God! Why can't I think of the name?
I could sing you the whole song, but I can't. His name is not coming to me right now.
Well, it'll come.
Post Malone. They're like, turn on Post Malone. We're not trying to hear that right now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 100%. Every time I mention country, everyone's just like, and I'm like, where are my country people at? Like,
yeah. Now, we had a lot of fun. We got a chance to know you better. And see, I did not know. And I'm really happy to actually learn that side of you because I had no idea at all. Now, I do want to get into a game. So I'm thinking at this point, since we've did, you already have to deal with the whole Love Island thing. You're like, I'm over that right now. We're not going to do smash or pass, but we will do is pass or dine and dash. So which guy of these options that I'm going to give you, and you guys can also answer in the comment section below, because these aren't even like guys, these are going to be some TV characters from some known shows. Which guy would you just pass on like I'd rather not, my love? Or would you be like, I'm going to entertain this, but then I'm going to go about my business? Really think about that, and think of also the consequences with too. Think of these characters, because we actually know these characters. Don't forget to comment and participate in the game below in the comment section. So, the first one, pass or dine and dash. Edward from Twilight or Joe from You?
Okay, Joe is a little crazy, so I'm gonna pass that one. I'm like, But Edward, he's like, he could fly and he like sparkles and stuff. So I'm gonna like entertain it, but then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna peace out.
He drinks blood though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm curious. Like maybe I want to be a vampire. Like like growing up, I wanted to be a vampire or a mermaid. So I'm gonna test it out. Like, what is this life? Like, what am I missing? But also, I want to be human. So
you want to be alive. So you can't.
I want to be alive. I don't want to eat people. Couldn't do it. So maybe just a little like, what is this about? But I'm gonna peace out.
I legit just sit across the table from him with like garlic on my neck. It's just my grandma gave it to me. Nothing personal. Who's looking at me like, you idiot?
You could take that off.
That doesn't work. It doesn't. Next, pass or dine and dash. Clay Jensen from 13 Reasons Why versus Eric Matthews from Boy Meets World.
Okay, pass Eric Matthews, but Clay Jensen, dine and dash. Just because I feel like he's really genuine. He cares. He's always wanting to know if everyone's okay. But yeah, I feel like I really want to get to know that character. Like, hey, what's up? How you doing?
No, that's facts. Because he's toxic, but he's not letting you go down for a murder. Not on his watch.
Yeah, like he's got a lot going on, which I think I can help him with. Like, hey, relax. It's okay. You don't need to worry about everyone because you're stressing yourself out.
Literally.
But he does care. So I feel like I'd entertain that.
Yeah. And then this is the last one, which might be a tough one. Peter Griffin versus Homer Simpson.
Oh, wow. We're going to be here a while. Peter Griffin or Homer Simpson. Okay. I think I might dine and dash Peter Griffin. Because it's hilarious. It's hilarious. He's like, what? Like, I feel like I'd like to entertain. Like, I just want to have a conversation with this dude. Like, what is he going to tell me? Like maybe pass Homer. But like, I feel like Peter just has like something to say. Like, what would you say to me?
Yeah. Homer Simpson, it just seems kind of like, if you can meet him in real life, he'll be kind of greasy and you're just like, I don't even want to be here.
Yeah, like
sitting across from the table as he's like munching and getting food everywhere. You're just like,
yeah, but I feel like Peter Griffin, like you could pick his brain on some stuff and you'd like laugh at his response and be like, okay, cool, but this is crazy. I'm gonna go.
right, like, all right, thank you. Or like the chicken shows up and he starts fighting the chicken, and you're like, all right, so this is my time.
Yeah, see, it would be great. It would be great entertainment though. You'd be like, oh my god, this is hilarious. Like I know this dude. Like you know.
Right, like you'll be at the table and you look across and you'll see like a menu move and it's the chicken, and you're like,
yeah, and then he's like laughing, like what? Like what would be your life for like that moment of you entertaining that conversation?
nah, that's a good point. So yeah, guys, that has been my interview with Mercedes from Love Island Season 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys were able to learn more about her, learn more about the villa, and also have fun in the game, because I am going to be looking in the comment section to find out who you guys would pass or dine and dash. I want to thank you for coming onto my platform and to talk with me and just allowing me to hear more about your life and opening yourself up and, you know, giving me the opportunity in general. I want to say for you guys out there, please follow her on Instagram. What's your Instagram? I'm going to plug it here.
Mercedes Danielle,
and it'll be here below, and I'll also have it in the description box as well, so that you can follow her and keep up with her on her social media platforms, especially since she gave us her tips. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm happy I met you. I'm happy I got a better understanding of you. And yeah, I hope people enjoy this as much as I did.
I know it was so fun. I want to take this time and just say thank you, just allowing me to say who I am and just going a little deeper on like my interests, like where I come from. It was nice. I had a lot of fun. Like hopefully people can kind of understand me a little better, that I'm not some like crazy person, you know? But yeah, this was really fun. So thank you for coming on here and allowing me to explain who I am.
No problem. And before I go, I'm doing this thing where I do a handshake with my subscribers. I don't know if I'm just doing it alone or if they're doing it with me too. So you guys, please comment and tell me if you're doing it with me too. But I leave out by going, talk to you later. Shoot 'em up. Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Thank you. I was thinking, I was like, what is very YouTubey, but it's a little TikTok-y that keep people moving.
Gotta keep them going.
Right. Yeah. Literally, that is what it was, and I'm happy that it's a pre.
I literally love your personality. You are awesome. You're great.
Thank you. You know, I try.
You don't even have to, girl. You're good. You are awesome.
Thank you. So we're gonna all do it out, and then we're gonna be outie. All right, ready?
Okay.
Let's go. Talk to you later.
Later.
Bye.